for your presentation, please come to us. Can do the last minute revision. The last minute revision before we start the session in the afternoon. All right, so shall we begin now? All right, got a USB here. So for the students, forget your USB here on the stage. Please collect your USB. So I'm going to do a brief roll call here. So for Kanto University, Ila High School out here. Okay, thank you. And Kaohsiung Municipal, Kaohsiung Senior High School out here. All right, so Komaba, Toho Junior Senior High School. Okay, thank you. And National Tainan First Senior High out here. National Tainan First Senior High. Where are you? Please raise your hand. All right, next one is the Lawrence Ting Memorial School. Lawrence Ting Memorial School. Okay, thank you. So we're here. So let's begin. Good afternoon, honorable guests, presentation teams, and students. We hope you enjoy a refreshing lunch and you feeling well rested. So before we begin, please note that each team have 10 minutes to showcase your ideas. Our staff will hold a play card to remind you of the time, 3 minutes and 1 minute before time is up. When you read the play card showing time is up, please finish your presentation immediately. The microphone will be turned off at the same time. And our commentators will make a remark on your presentations at the end of the session. So for this session, we are also delighted to be joined by a commentator. Please allow me to introduce our commentator, Dr. Wang Haowen. Okay, please welcome him. He's our commentator. So the first team for the afternoon session is Kanto University Eli High School. The topic is integrating sustainability in secondary education, a study of high school students' awareness and action towards the SDGs in Vietnam. Let's welcome them.
Okay, so good afternoon, teachers and fellow students. I'm Mai Ho Trung Duy. Where's the, excuse me? So our team has 5 members, which is Tường Minh, Minh Ngọc, Hương Nhi, and Khánh Hân. And today, I'm truly grateful to inform you about our newest study, which is the integrating sustainability in secondary education. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the National Tainan First Senior High School for creating us a valuable opportunity to go here. And also, I think this event is a chance for students across Asia to understand each other better, and also for the countries to inform each other about the SDGs and to train our students to become real global citizens. Well, overall, the point of our presentation is to focuses on understanding high school student awareness, attitude, and actions related to the SDGs. Well, you know, as global challenges intensify, the role of youth engagement becomes more increasingly critical. So this study aims to assess how familiar high school students are with the SDGs. Therefore, we try to make them have their engagement with it. And the primary objective is to identify gaps in knowledge and motivation and engagement, and to offer recommendations for integrating SDG-related education into the high school curriculum. So next up is Minh Ngọc will tell you about a close look at the research idea.
Hi, I'm Minh Ngọc, and I will talk about how we developed the idea. First of all, our idea in research was inspired by the seminars that highlighted the growing importance of integrating sustainability in education. And these discussions led our team to recognize the need in evaluating how well high school students to understand the sustainability and how they perceive their role in addressing them. And after reviewing a variety of literature sources, we finalized in alignment with the growing emphasis on education for sustainable development, or ESD in Vietnam.
To transform this initial idea into a concrete study, the team designed a structure research process as described below. The research process involved designing a structured questionnaire consisting of 4 sessions: demographics, attitude, awareness, and action related to SDGs. The survey was distributed to students from grades 11, 10, and 12 across urban and rural areas. The total of 251 valid responses were collected and analyzed using descriptive statistics to identify trends and key patterns. Data was then categorized by grade level, gender, and location to ensure comprehensive analysis across different student groups.
During the research, we faced several challenges. Firstly, it's a limited awareness. Many students had limited knowledge of the sustainable development goals, making it challenging them to answer the question in the survey. After that, we also have the problem with the resource constraints. The problem with logistical issues, including limit access to certain schools, in challenging in distributing the surveys. Finally, gathering response from a diverse student population require extended coordination, especially in rural areas. And it's also taking a lot of time of us to give it to students in rural area. Then this is the way our solving the problem. Firstly, we use the social media platform to improve participation, particularly among the urban students. We post our survey also in many social media platforms to spread the influence of the surveys. Then we collaborate with school, especially administrator and students, to distribute the survey and talk to them to teach their students about the importance of the research. Finally, we give to students a short explanation before giving the questionnaire for who doesn't know about the SDGs.
So let's take a look at the learning outcomes. Well, here's the statistic. Well, first of all, when we first introduced the students about the SDGs, we have known that only 56.6% of the students had heard about SDGs. But the thing is, only a small percentage were familiar with all 17 goals. The next one is only merely 50% of students reported taking individual action towards sustainability, such as reducing plastic use and conserving water. The most two well-known SDG to the students were quality education and good health and well-being. So, therefore, roughly 52% of participants remain neutral about integrating SDGs into the school curriculum, while 32.3% agreed and 12.7% strongly agree. That is emphasized the demand for more engaging educational programs to foster student interest in the sustainability and to put them in the real school curriculum. The main motivations for SDGs are to make a positive impact, which accounts for 72%, and encouragement from family and school, which accounts approximately 76%. And the barriers that stop us from putting the SDGs in the real school curriculum was a lack of knowledge between students to the SDG, and the time that constrained, the time that took us too long for letting the real the SDG enter the school curriculum. With that saying, we need to provide actionable insights for educators seeking to incorporate sustainability initiatives into the curriculum.
Now we're going to the reflection. From statistics above, our research is limited to the survey level. However, in the future, we can enhance the study quality by moving beyond just the question level through the following improvement methods. And through the term, we find out 3 methods you can see on the screen. The number one is areas for improvement. The second one is potential extensions. And the final one is relevance to future exploration topics. Now we're going to number 1. Future research could benefit from expanding the sample size to include more students in rural areas. Incorporating qualitative interviews would provide deeper insight into student personal motivation and perception regarding to sustainable development goals. And the second one is potential extension. Future studies could explore the impact of specific educational interventions, such as workshops or extracurricular programs. And long research assess how student attitudes evolve over time. Now we go to the final one, relevance to future exploration topics. Research highlights the potential for integrating sustainability education into high school curricula more effectively. The findings can inform future exploration topics such as climate change education, youth activism. The study also underscores the importance of fostering intrinsic motivation to encourage active participation in sustainability activities. Now you can see on the screen, these are 17 goals, and we believe the data presented above is the result of our team's efforts. Through our research and discussion, we recognize the Sustainable Development Goals as undeniably crucial to the global landscape. The SDGs are more than an action plan. They are strategic, universal vision. We believe that these 17 goals must be widely shared to foster a prosperous, sustainable world where no one is left behind. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. So the next team is Kaohsiung Municipal Kaohsiung Senior High School. The topic is discovery of the current situation of the Aquavoltaics projects near Yong-An Fishing Port. Let's welcome them.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we would like to take you to Yong-An. My name is Jerry, this is James, and this is Ethan. So, this is a short outline for what we're going to talk about today. First, I'd like to give a brief introduction of where Yong-An is and why we chose Yong-An, as well as how the wetlands function alongside or thrive alongside with migratory birds. Next, my partners will introduce the fish farming industry and how they play a crucial role in these habitat conservation that we're going to discuss later. But okay, first, these are 3 pictures that we took while we're in Yong-An. Why did we choose Yong-An specifically? It is firstly because it's in Kaohsiung, our hometown, but secondly, it has been a typical example on a lot of, for example, news media, social media, and textbooks. They have been talking and discussing about these implementation of solar panels, as you can see in these pictures. So in Yong-An, it is a crucial stopover land for these migratory birds. It serves as a essential service stations for these migratory birds. They come here, they stay here, they take some rest, and then they continue their journey. Therefore, this land is really important. However, under these industrial development, it has been facing some issues and challenges, such as the pollution of their habitats. Therefore, there has been a lot of policies implemented in the area, such as the fishery and electricity symbiosis that you can see on the picture on the left side. You might think that all these solar panels are the same, but they have some subtle differences. For example, the one on the right side, it's only a layer on the ground, therefore you can't utilize the land below. However, on the left side, it's fishery and electricity symbiosis, therefore they're doing fisheries beneath, and they have solar panels on top. And this policy is claimed by experts to be able to utilize these land more efficiently. But our presentation today is to discuss whether or not this specific policy is actually suitable for places like Yong-An. Next, Yong-An wetland and migratory birds. Why is Yong-An so important for them? And what has these industries done to protect this piece of land? For example, the Flying Birds Power Plant, or the Xingda Power Plant, has been doing a lot of job and implementing a lot of policies to try to help conserve the habitats for these migratory birds. And one of the main examples are black-faced spoonbills. I can give you a few numbers. For example, in 2013, there were only around 26 black-faced spoonbills that come every year. In 2019, the number increased to 128. Therefore, they have been doing a lot to try to protect and save this piece of land. They even have an environmental protection team, and in order to increase awareness and try to promote these ecological concepts and ideas to the general public, they have set up education center and core conservation areas in the wetland.
Okay, Next, I'm going to talk about the history about the Yong-An fish farm. Initially, it is a salt field, and where it can be traced back to the Japanese colonial period when the Japanese government encouraged private investment in salt industry. However, due to the decline of sun-dried salts, the industry of fish farming has become prosperous, and it has become the important site for grouper fish as well as an important site for ecological conservation, environmental education. And in the second point, you can see Yong-An is the hometown of grouper fish. I believe it is because the Yong-An adopt a method called stepwise method, which emphasizes the importance of the medicine-free and low density. As you can see, a quarter of national grouper fish production is from Yong-An, and the output of the annual value is about 2 billion. And next, I'm going to talk about what's the sustainability part in Yong-An fish farm and the challenge now they are facing. First is the migratory bird conservation, as my partner had mentioned. And next, I'm going to talk about the diamond water. As you can see at the right bottom, it is the simple flow diagram of simple flow of diamond water. In Taiwan, to vaporize liquid gas, the CPC, the Taiwanese corporation called CPC, use large amounts of water to exchange heat. And instead of wasting the diamond water, that company offered free for the nearby fish farm to reuse such valuable resources. And next is the diversified marketing. As you can see at the top of the slide, it is a poster of the festival in Yong-An. Every year, Yong-An district office hosts the grouper fish festival to showcase the unique parts of grouper fish in Yong-An. And thus, it attracts a lot of tourists and boosts the local tourism. Now, I'm going to talk about the dilemma and the challenge now they are facing. And first is the common one, which is combating the outflow of young labor. I believe now it is the common problem in rural area that young labor tend to go to the city to look for jobs. And next is the most important and controversial one is the fisheries and electricity symbiosis.
So through fieldwork and some previous studies, we have discovered a few problems. So first is most of the solar panels have a high coverage ratio, which means they will block most sunlight. Without sunlight, the creatures in waters cannot grow well or even die. Second, some of them are doing fake fish farming because they will get a subsidy by following the policies to establish solar panels. Some of them just breed the fishes with no economic values. So in other words, they are not actually doing fish farming, they are selling electricity. Third, some of the solar panels are settled in the wetlands. And however, as my partner just said, those wetlands are important habitats for migratory birds and other wild animals. Last, there is not enough regulations or proper rules to control or design the whole project. So in conclusion, fish farming is difficult under such conditions. If we want real fishery solar symbiosis, we need a better design or a real environment check and stronger regulations to protect the natural. So all these projects shows the governments and the residents' desire for a sustainable future. However, true sustainability will depend on combining better design with fish farming, which will be better for both the economy and the environment. That's the end. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next team is from Komaba, Toho Junior and Senior High School. The topic is biomass fuel from wastes and how they could contribute to the SDGs. Let's welcome them.
大家好. Hello everyone. We are from Komaba Toho in Tokyo. I'm Yuto Ryoke.
I'm Tomoki Nagai.
I'm Kosuke Muto.
I'm Rikuto Jitsui.
I'm Yoshia Hirano.
I'm Koki Waseda.
First, I have a question for everyone here. When you hear the term renewable energy, what comes to mind? You may think of hydro, wind, nuclear, and many others. We have chosen to focus on biomass fuels in particular, and in particular biogas, which is fueled by garbage. Since biogas is fueled by garbage, it is related to our daily lives. And we thought that we could contribute to the SDGs number 7, 12, and 13 by researching this. Therefore, we aim to Therefore, we aim to present how it can actually contribute to the SDGs.
In this part, we will talk about the current status of energy in Japan, methane fermentation, and biogas plants. Japan's energy self-sufficiency rate is low and was 12.6% in 2022. Regarding biomass power generation, it is only 5.7% of total electricity generation. Furthermore, biomass fuels used in our transportation sector are only about 3% of fuels used. Like this, biomass fuels are not widely used in Japan because 1. Japan's biomass power generation relies on imports of the wood. 2. The high cost of purchasing, crushing, and transporting resources. 3. The difficulty of securing space for biomass power plants.
In the process of biomass production, biomass materials are fed into a controlled anaerobic environment to be fermented by microorganisms to produce methane. Anaerobic meaning without oxygen. Along with the methane, CO2 and leftovers of the fermentation are produced. Much of the methane gas is burned to generate electricity or contained, and the leftovers can be used as fertilizer. The facility where this process is done called biomass plant. This photo is a biomass plant near my school. The plant is used for the following activities. A. Receiving food waste. B. Shredding and sorting materials. C. Methane fermentation. For example, the food waste is received from supermarkets, convenience stores, hotels, and restaurants in Tokyo. The food waste is crushed into small pieces by powerful machines. Then, unseveral materials such as waste plastic are removed. The fermentation process previously mentioned occurs in a fermentation tank. This can take approximately 30 days. In addition, with the biogas obtained from 1 day's worth of waste, the methane fermentation can generate enough gas to make enough electricity to power about 4,000 households a day.
We conducted an experiment to find out how biogas can make energy. So basically, we made a small biogas generator. First, this is a picture of a cow. Many of you may not think much of this humble animal, but this creature is amazing. The reason is because a cow can generate biogas simply by digesting their food. We therefore decided to make a similar setup to how the cow does its digestion. The procedure of the experiment was as follows. Step 1. We bought a bag of cow dung which are in 2 centimeters balls and put a number of them into a container measured up to the 300 milliliter mark. Some people invest in gold, but we invested it in poop. Step 2. In a separate container, add 400 milliliters of water and put in 1 multivitamin tablet. Step 3. Grind 100 grams of household waste and mix that in the bag along with sodium bicarbonate to adjust the pH to 7.5. Step 4. Put the mixture in the plastic bottle and close the cap. Step 5. Leave the plastic bottle for 3 weeks. The experiment was a little dangerous because the plastic bottle could become explosive during the 3 weeks. To prevent this, we installed a gas bag outlet to release some of the generated gas. After 3 weeks, we went to check the plastic bottle. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the bacteria to ferment the dung. So instead, we asked a professor from Toho University about the results of a successful experiment. She told us that she was able to generate biogas energy through the same experiment. Although our experiment wasn't successful, other experiments show that if small biogas generator become widespread in the future, each home will be able to generate biogas energy from household waste.
There are two main challenges to the wider use of biogas today. The first challenge is cost. Biogas is made by processing organic waste like food scraps or manure in special facilities called biogas plants. But building these plants requires a lot of money for land, construction, and equipment. Also, transporting organic waste to the plants costs a lot. Because of these high costs, it can be hard to make a profit. This makes it difficult for businesses to invest in biogas projects. One possible solution is government support. If governments provide financial help like tax cuts or subsidies, it could make it be easier for businesses to start using biogas. Also, instead of building just large regional plants, we can build smaller plants in cities or towns. This idea, called local production for local energy, means using food waste or livestock manure from the community to produce energy. This can reduce costs and make the system more efficient. The second challenge is collecting food waste every day. Right now, most businesses and families don't separate food waste for recycling. Also, there aren't enough systems to collect and transport it regularly. To solve this, local governments need to create collection systems. They can educate people about why food waste recycling is important through schools and community events. Also, they can set up collection stations and regular pickup schedules. To encourage people to join, they could even offer point rewards or small discounts for those who cooperate.
Hello. In this research, to link renewable energy and reduction of food waste, we examine potential for biogas generation and utilization. In this section, we will conclude and give suggestions for the future. First, we will identify how biogas can contribute to the SDGs relating to helping energy resource importing countries such as Japan and Taiwan. Today, while global warming has led to calls for the development of sustainable energy, Japan remains dependent on fossil fuels with a lower energy self-sufficiency rate. In such a situation, a widespread biogas industry could be an effective alternative. The spread of biogas could also benefit many countries around the world in various ways. For example, farmers in Hue, Vietnam generate gas from the dung produced by the livestock. Some of Komaba Toho's third and fourth grade students visit Vietnam every year to think about global issues. This biogas digester not only provides energy, but also has the advantage of reducing environmental pollution and fuel costs. Furthermore, a small-scale biogas generator was widely used in homes. It will be far greener. On the other hand, this research also revealed issues related to the small scale of the experiment, safety of the equipment, and cost. In the future, it will be necessary to develop more efficient methane fermentation technology, improve the equipment for practical use in homes at community level, and consider policy support for its widespread use. Finally, we would like to end this presentation by saying that in order to achieve the SDGs, it is of course crucial to start by changing our daily actions. Utilizing biogas from food waste is a sure step towards a sustainable future that begins with the action of each one of us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your attention. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So the next group is from Tainan First Senior High School. Their topic is stray animals in Taiwan, challenges, policies, and ethical dilemmas. Let's welcome them.
So hello everyone, my name is Karyu from Tainan First Senior High School, and this is Nick and Antonio. And today we're going to discuss the environmental issues caused by stray animals. To start, I'd like to share our research journey. Our research process is divided into 5 parts, as shown in the image. And among them, the most memorable experiences for us was visiting the stray animals volunteers Ting at National Cheng Kung University. And the result of the visiting will be also presented in the upcoming reports. Stay tuned. Our presentation is connected to the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. So what are the SDGs? The Sustainable Development Goals, launched in 2015, and to end poverty and inequality, protect the planet, ensure health, justice, and prosperity for all. One important target is SDGs 15.8. Focuses on stopping the stopping the species invasive alien species on land and water. So before we get into our main topic, let's take a moment to imagine, what if we live a society where stray animals were everywhere? How could that affect our daily lives? So Nick, please tell us your discovery.
We look at some research and data, and we found several problems caused by stray animals. I will introduce them one by one. First of all, stray animals can attack wild animals. In recent years, the numbers of municipal civets and penguins has dropped quickly due to attacks by stray dogs. And moreover, not only dogs, cats also kill many small animals every year. And second, stray animals can carry and spread diseases. Parvovirus can make the leopard cats weak, increasing their risk of getting hit by cars. And even more seriously, like rabies is a disease that can spread between humans and animals. Without proper treatment, it has a 100% fatality rate, make it a major public health concern. And third, feeding stray animals can also cause problems. While some people may have good intentions, feeding stray animals can make the environment dirty and cause animals to gather in large groups. This not only increases the risk of disease spreading, but also leads to noise problems and traffic issues, especially in urban areas. And later, Carlu will introduce the Taiwan's policy of stray animals.
Okay, thank you, Nick. So now I want to look on the Taiwan's policy on stray animals. The problems of stray animals has existed in Taiwan for over half a century. In 1948, Taiwan reported its first rabies case, leading to mass dog calling and vaccination campaigns. By 1961, Taiwan declared rabies free. From 1960 to the 1980s, as the economy grew, more people owned pets. However, many abandoned their pets, causing the stray animals population to rise. And the governments mainly captured and caught stray animals during this time. And after the stray dogs attack in 1992, the Animal Protection Act was passed in 1998, and the pet registration system began in 1999. Over time, the government shifted its focus from disease control to better managing stray animals. However, early policy mainly treated symptoms rather than solving the root problems. A major turning point came in 2013 with the release of the documentary, Tails Night, which showed the harsh reality of shelter animals. The movie deeply moved the public and led to stronger demand for change. By 2017, the Taiwan's government officially banned culling stray animals. Since then, the government has invested heavily in improving shelters and encouraging adoption. However, nearly 8 years later, problems remain. Shelters are overcrowded and pet abandonment is still a serious issue. To address these challenges, the government has promoted pet ownership, expanded pet registration, control the stray animals population, and tighten the regulations on pet sales. In conclusion, Taiwan's government has made a big progress, but more work is needed to better managing and protect the stray animals.
Now I will talk about some foreign guidelines, for example, TNR, which is currently done in Taiwan and focuses on stopping strays from reproducing. The second one is euthanasia, which focuses on giving strays a painless death, which is currently done in America, where they kill 3 million stray animals annually, and Korea, which has a law that forces strays to be called 12 to 90 days after rescued if not adopted. Now here I'll talk about each of these ones. Starting with euthanasia. The benefits of euthanasia is that it can most effectively reduce the amount of stray animals and can solve the problem of overcrowded. Yes. The drawback, however, is that it's considered inhumane and it can put pressure on people conducting euthanasia. TNR, on the other hand, it does not require killing stray animals. However, it takes a long time to see results, and if not carried out properly, it could potentially make the problem worse. One of the main reasons is stray feeding, which I'll talk about next. Here are another set of reasons why we should not feed strays, because it affects because it reduces the effect TNR. First of all, food attracts outside strays. And since neuter strays are less territorial, that makes outside strays have an easier time getting in. Second of all, increased fecundity, which is what we mentioned earlier, the reproduction rate. The more strays there are, the more easily they reproduce. Thirdly, it increases environmental capacity. The more food there is, the more strays can live in the area. And all three of them lead to reduced TNR effect, since the amount of near strays is only a small population compared to the rest. This is the truth about stray feeding. In the short term, this stops strays from starving, but in the long term, it may cause a lot more problems. Those include those mentioned before, being parasite and bacterial infections, and dirty environments. This is our conclusion. First of all, the government should strengthen ownership responsibilities and make legislations with stricter enforcement, since the root problem of the root cause of the stray animal problem is pet abandonment. Now, thirdly, they should increase adoption rates and increase the upper limit of shelters, so that more strays can live in more caring environments without worrying about starving or getting hit by a car. This is what we should do as students. First of all, we should stop being strays because it causes more harm than good. And secondly, we should promote adopting over buying. Instead of getting a pet from a pet shop, we should adopt them from shelters. Then again, you're giving more space for other stray animals. We appreciate your attention. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you. So the next group is from Vietnam, Lawrence and Ting Memorial School. The topic is waste to energy, advancing sustainable solutions for Vietnam's waste management challenges. Thank you.
So greetings everyone. Once again, we are from the Lawrence Essing School, and today we are going to talk about waste management. Especially, we are going to focus on a technology called waste to energy. So this is our table of content. In the first two sections, we are going to generally talk about the research process and why do we choose this topic to research. And in the last two sections, we are going to focus mainly on the content of the research. So first, why did we choose this topic? So every year there are 9 million fatalities, aka death due to waste mismanagement. And that's 20 times higher than the rate of malaria, which is a deadly disease. So in a medical standpoint, we can see that waste mismanagement can be considered as a deadly disease. And in Vietnam, every day, as we are talking right now, there are 60,000 tons of trash, more than that, being thrown into the environment, in which most of them goes into landfilling. And the problem with landfilling is that it's like a big pile of trash next to your house. First, it has bad odors, and it's a dwelling place for deadly diseases. And also, it can pollute the nearby water resources. And if you haven't known, large landfills typically emit a gas called methane, which is 25 times more potent than that of CO2, which means that it can increase the rate of climate change. The consequence of this, as we have mentioned, is that people's life, and it's also very costly just to collect the trash. As in Vietnam, every day we waste around $3.5 million just to collect the trash, and it can also pollute the city with the methane gas. So that's the problem, and to solve it, we started to look at the government policies, such as the Law of Environmental Protection in 2010, and then we look at the studies from professionals and the articles from organizations and foundations. After we have all of those information, we start to make a comprehensive research by asking ourselves these questions. The first one is that, what are the main effects of landfilling? Well, we have answered that on the last section. And then we follow up by a next question. So how can we solve this? And so in the short term, we find out about waste to energy, which we will talk specifically in the later sections. And finally, we ask ourselves, what are the challenges that waste to energy might be facing in Vietnam? So we found out that it is facing outdated technologies, a shortage in funding, and it's also a low awareness of the people in waste classification, and it's also the low enforcement of the law.
And next, to answer the question why waste to energy model should be applied in Vietnam, right here we use Japan and Thailand as examples for the success of waste to energy model in Asia country. By applying this model in Japan, 100% of household waste is collected daily, and the amount is about 8,000 tons. And the positive outcome this model brings is that waste in Japan reduced to 1 out of 20 of the volume before. Next, I would like to introduce you to Tainan company of Thailand. This company specializes waste management equipment, including the Tainan shredders and compactors used in waste-to-energy plants. Tainan shredders is high-performance machines. It's designed to process woods, plastic, municipal waste, and tires, converting them into refuse-derived fuel, which is called RDF. And thanks to the technology, 10,000 tons of tires in Thailand are annually treated and converted into green power energy. And this shredders has also boosted RDF plant output by up to 20%. And this company is also involved in many environmental projects, including the plans to build 100 small waste fire power plants.
Okay, so by exploring these solutions that these countries have proposed, we come to a conclusion that waste to energy holds potential results that aligns with the following SDGs. So these goals work together to move towards a more greener and more sustainable future. As we integrate climate actions into national plan, which is followed by SDG 13.2, we can lower harmful emissions such as methane, and then we can adapting more on renewable energy in cities. And sustainable urbanization, which is SDG 11.3, also supports urban development by improved air quality, and moreover, create a more inclusive cities. Lastly, SDG 7.1 and .2 focus mainly on getting clean and renewable energy accessible to everyone. So what exactly is waste to energy? Waste to energy, as its name, is converting waste materials into energy, clean energy using heat, which is also called incineration. This management style is considered a controlled method alongside with landfilling and recycling. What is the process of waste to energy? Firstly, we got waste collection and delivery. In urban areas in Ho Chi Minh cities in Vietnam, there are more than 8 tons of waste generated daily. And these solid wastes come from many sources, such as household, industrial zones, commercial zones, or healthcare facilities. And these wastes would then be transferred straight into waste-to-energy plants by commercial companies or non-profit entities.
So in the waste reception and pre-processing, upon the arrival, the waste is typically weighed and may undergo pre-processing to remove bulky items and non-combustible materials. The technologies used in Vietnam is often designed to handle solid waste due to the wet waste of Vietnamese waste. A drying period in dunkers lasting up to 7 days may be required, along with the potential injections of the additional of fuel like diesel. And next is one of the important stage in this process, the incineration. As you guys can see, from the recycling to the beginning of the combustions is the two stage we talking before. and in the combustion is the incineration. The waste is then can be fed into the modern incinerator, often using great furnace technology, which is suitable for the wet and common unsorted waste common in Vietnam. And then is the heat recovery and energy generation. The heat generated from the combustion process is used to boil water and produce high pressure steam. This high pressure steam is drive a turbine, which in turn spin a generator to produce electricity. And this electricity is can then be fed into the national power grid. And anyone consider what 60 megawatt can do. So located in Ho Chi Minh City, the Tam Shin waste to energy plant is designed to generate 60 megawatt, processing approximately 2,000 to 2,600 tons of waste per day. And the plant is expected to produce 365 million of electricity, that enough for power 10,000 households. And in addition, it will have to reduce CO2 emissions by approximately 257,000 tons of CO2 per year. And the last stage is the emissions control. So we will apply advanced flue gas treatment technology to including the selective catalytic reductions that usually call it SCR, and activated carbon injections and fabric filters to significantly reduce harmful emissions and control particulate matter. And to ensure full compliance and accountability, our system includes the continuous emissions monitoring system, which track the key pollutants in real time. This effort is not just about meeting the regulations, but they are part of the broader strategy to support the environmental responsibility and drive long-term sustainability.
However, there might be some limitations when implementing this technology into Vietnam. Firstly, the process of permitting is very complicated and time-consuming, and the overlapping authorities maybe make it more complicated to follow and navigating. Secondly, unlike Japan or South Korea, Vietnam still lacks systematic waste treatment, and waste household and different types of waste is being mixed together and making it hard for the collection and also the treatment of waste. So according to those limitations, what role can the government play in the implementation of this technology? Firstly, they should issue a dedicated decree for waste-to-energy projects, which include the documents from governments and also the technical standards. Secondly, they should enforce the environmental protection law in 2020 and also implement EPR, which means that producers have to have responsibility for all of the stages in their product's life cycle. And secondly, they should prioritize clean land allocation for the waste-to-energy plans in their master plans, and also offer many exemptions on the tax to make it more financially attractive to investors. And they can also borrow loans from the Vietnam Bank and the Environmental Protection Fund. And lastly, they should set attractive FITs, which means that government will guarantee a profitable price for the electricity used for the technology of the waste to energy. And it will reduce the financial risk and make it more attractive to investors.
And lastly, Vietnam government should tighten up the law. Provinces should accomplish specific implementation for source by 2025. And next, the material recovery facilities should be built at the district level to sort waste. And last, charges for littering should be strictly applied. In Vietnam, there are many plans, projects, and policies about waste management. For example, on June 12th in Quy Nhơn, UNDP support a pilot for 13,000 households achieving a 60% of waste separation rate. This shows that Vietnam is looking forward to developing our waste managing system too. That is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.
So thank you for all your presentations. So believe that you are now eager to get some constructive feedback to improve your research. So please join me in welcoming today's commentator, Dr. Wang Haowen, to give us some feedback. Thank you. Let's give him a big round. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon. So all these 5 groups, I think some of your groups discuss a similar event or similar questions. So that is very important to, it's not, I would say, practical. If you really want to discuss the similar event or similar question like waste, like energy, probably you can think about what your, let's say, competitor or your friends from other countries, from other schools, what they will present. Then you probably knows how you can think about it with an alternative way or even smarter way to present your topics. I think some of your groups, I can feel you have a very nice, well-prepared, well-practiced, and well-trained. So that's why I really appreciate and also very enjoy your talks. And also have some small reminding of you. Probably some of the groups you already prepare pretty nice, but some you can spend more time and you can present it even better. For example, I will suggest some of your groups then can think about before you give the talk, before you show your slide, okay, you can think about who is your audience, okay. So that is very important part. For example, like here, and because I think all of you from the different countries, if you want to present your country's problems or some local city or the local counties targets, probably you can show the map to other friends, other participants to know, at least to know where it is, right? And where it's located, and what is your main problems. You just need one slide, then can much better than you spend a lot of sentences to explain that. But in general, I will still really congratulate all of you can give a very nice talk. And second, I will encourage you can learn each other, okay? Because some of the groups already prepare very nicely, but you can learn from other groups from the different topics, probably next year, the next steps from your life, you can start to think about other questions, because all of you will go in further and further for your educational steps. So I still encourage all of you, and yeah, so I think, so how long I still have? Okay, so because I think all of your groups really have a perfect time control, so that's why we can proceed super smoothly, okay. Yeah, either we can have a little bit longer break, okay, and yeah, so it's any suggestions from the Tainan, the first high school? Okay, then, so it's my part now, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Wang Haowen. Thank you for the useful feedback and valuable comments from Professor. Now it's time for a short break. Desserts and beverages are ready for you to enjoy outside the venue. Please note that eating and drinking is not allowed in this venue. The next session will begin at 3:15. Let me say it again, 3:15. So you got a longer break now. Please be seated by then. See you later. So during the long tea break, you can enjoy the refreshment outside, or you can do the roll-up banner presentation, exchange your information, exchange IG accounts, exchange Threads accounts, something like that. Okay. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please, for the group who are going to do the presentation. If you want to do the last minute revision of your PDF file or PPT file, would you please approach the staff here? Do the last minute revision of your PPT or your PDF files. If you want to do the last minute revision of your PowerPoint file or PDF files, would you please come forward and approach the stadium? Good afternoon, everyone. May I have your attention? Good afternoon, everyone. The next presentation session will begin shortly, so please return to your seat. Thank you. The next presentation session will begin shortly in 2 minutes, and please return to your seat. Thank you. For those who want to do the last-minute revision of your PowerPoint file or PDF file, please come to us. So before we start our session, I would like to do a brief roll call. Kaohsiung Municipal, Kaohsiung Senior High, are you here? Thank you. UST Agenical College, thank you. The National Tainan First Senior High, thank you. And the Chinese High School, Batu Pat from Malaysia, thank you. And the affiliated Taoyuan Agricultural Industrial Senior High School of the National Taipei University of Technology. Are you here? Are you here? Okay, thank you. So we are here now. Let's wait for the judges and the professor. All right, so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, presentation teams, and students. We hope that you enjoy a refreshing lunch and you are feeling well rested. Before we begin, please note that each team has 10 minutes to showcase your ideas. Our staff will hold a play card to remind you of the time, 3 minutes and 1 minute before time is up. When you read the play card showing time is up, please finish your presentation immediately. The microphone will be turned off at the same time. Let's get started. So, Dr. Wang Haowen, are you ready? Okay, should start. So the first team is from Kaohsiung Municipal, Kaohsiung Senior High School. Their topic is survey on the interaction between Taiwanese macaques and humans in the Chaishan area. Let's welcome them.
Good afternoon, I'm Brian, and this is Kevin. This is Patrick. We're a student from Kaohsiung Senior High School. And today we're going to present our project titled Survey on the Interaction Between Humans and Taiwanese Macaques in Chaishan area. Our topic falls under SDGs aspect of environmental protection. The interaction between humans and macaques in Chaishan area is a serious issue. As a resident of Kaohsiung, we often visit this area and have observed many conflicts between humans and macaques. This motivates us to begin our research. The inspiration for this topic came from our personal experiences. For example, when we visited Chaishan, our food was stolen by macaques. And look at the picture. The macaques stole our bananas. And we even heard that macaques attacking people to get food. This made us think, what human behaviors cause macaques to approach people? And do Formosa macaques still have the ability to find food on their own after consuming humans' food? Is the distribution of Formosa macaque positively correlated with humans' activities? So, we confirm our research direction to study the interaction between humans and Taiwanese macaques in Chaishan area. We chose this topic because it is close to our life and we want to raise awareness and find a way to reduce the conflicts. Chaishan is located in Gusen district of Kaohsiung. It is also known as Shoushan or Monkey Mountain because of many monkeys that live there. Its scientific name is Macaca cyclopus. It is also known as Formosa rock macaque or Formosa rock monkey. This species is only found in Taiwan, so it is considered an endemic species. And it plays an important role in Taiwan's ecosystem. You can often see them in the wild, especially in places like Chaishan. Our research connects with SDG-15, Life on Land. More specifically, we focused on Target 15.4, ensure conservation of mountain ecosystem, and Target 15.9, integrate ecosystem and biodiversity governmental planning. By understanding how human behaviors affect macaque and how macaque affects humans' activities, we hope to suggest a solution that protects both wildlife and people.
In this part, I'm going to talk about our process during the research. At first, we have 3 topics to choose from: Kaohsiung's wetlands and their environmental impact, effective ways to prevent street litterings, and human-macaque interaction in Chaishan. In the end, we choose the last one for our research topic. We researched Chaishan and Formosa macaque by online sources and field visits. Then, we created and distributed a questionnaire to understand public's opinion. After collecting and analyzing the data, we interviewed professionals at the National Natural Park. Finally, we summarized our findings, developed a plan, and completed our report and briefing at the end of March. This part is about our data and information we obtained after investigation and research. This page and the next 2 pages are about the data we got after we collecting the questionnaires. We got a total of 512 questionnaire responses. Of those with 344 respondents have been to Chaishan. Of those respondents who have been to Chaishan, we would like to know their purpose to go to Chaishan. Most of respondents go to Chaishan to enjoy the view, followed by doing exercise and observing the ecology. The least is to visit a zoo. There were 29 respondents go to Chaishan for other reasons. Since we opened a multiple choice for this question, the total number of people does not equal 344. The chart on the left shows that nearly 50% of respondents have been approached or having their belongings snatched by macaques, and the other chart shows that more than half of respondents have been frightened by macaques and felt uneasy. Through the data above, we can clearly understand that the problem of macaques in Chaishan troubling the public deeply. This part is about our interview. After when we arrived at the National Natural Park Administration, the Park General command Miss Ting, a senior guide with 15 year experience of studying macaques, as our interviewee. After the interview, we understand that the aggressiveness of macaques is due to humans. We understand that the aggressiveness of macaques is due to humans. We understand that the macaque is affected by humans that makes them aggressive, and there are macaques still unaffected by humans. Those macaques live in military restricted areas are still unaffected by humans. This part is about our field visits. The map shows the route we take, and the photo captures a macaque finding for drinking water while we taking a rest at a pavilion.
After doing field research and reading recent news, we noticed that interactions between Formosan macaques and humans are getting more and more intense. Even small things like the sound of a plastic bag can attract monkeys because they think there is food. This increases the chance of monkeys attacking people or people hurting the monkeys. From our observations, we also saw that most people no longer take out food where monkeys gather. This means they understand the rule about not feeding. However, some people might not realize that even small unintentional actions can still attract monkeys and lead to problems. Therefore, we came up with 2 suggestions to deal with it. First, we suggest creating an ecological corridor and restoring the habitat. In Chaishan, we hope to plant fruit trees in the places farther away from where people usually go. This can give the monkeys a home of their own which is far away from the crowds. Second, we want to make people become more aware of the environment. By holding more eco tours, we can guide visitors around Chaishan and teach them which behaviors are okay and which ones might cause trouble. Even though this might take some time, we believe it's a good way to reduce conflicts between people and the monkeys. And we would like to share 4 areas where we think we can improve throughout this project. First, topic selection. At the beginning, our team had many different ideas and couldn't make a decision. We solved this by doing deeper research and comparing the pros and cons of each option before deciding. Second, paper research. Many academic papers were behind paywall, which made it harder to access reliable information. Third, our questionnaire. This part actually took the most time, from designing it to distributing to analyzing the results. However, we still realized that some questions were not well designed, making it difficult to turn responses into useful data. Fourth, our teamwork. Tasks were divided well, however, we didn't share enough information. This led to confusion and extra work later on. In the course of our research, we also found that similar problems exist worldwide. For example, in Nara, Japan, the deer have become overly accustomed to the humans. And in Hong Kong, there's a similar problem to Chaishan. In contrast, some animals in Taiwan, such as the leopard cat, are disappearing due to habitat loss. Though this may not seem urgent, they deeply affect ecosystem and need attention. Here are the references we used. We sincerely appreciate all those who supported us in completing this report. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. So the next name is from the Philippines, UST Angelicum College, and the topic is Project the Meter. So please welcome them.
Good day to all. We are the representatives of UST Angelicum College, Philippines, presenting to you the Project Demeter.
I am Wenzel Corpus, together with my constituents.
I'm Giancarlo Sales.
I am Franco Gatchalian.
Now, let's talk about the Philippines. The Philippines is an archipelagic nation which thrives on lush green rainforests and pristine beaches. It is also known for being rich in natural resources and for its tourism industry. However, the Philippines also has problems. With a growing population and rapid urbanization, job security and food security come into question. Faced with these challenges, the government has outlined clear goals and policies in order to alleviate these questions.
And so, let's talk about the population of the Philippines. The population of the Philippines has been steadily increasing from just over 109 million and to be by 2020 and to be projected at 125 million by 2025. And a brief background about the Philippines is that we rank 13th in the world, 7th in Asia, and 2nd in Southeast Asia in terms of population. This puts pressure on our food systems and land resources. And as you can see in this graph, by 2020 to 2025, the upward trend demands a corresponding innovation in our agriculture production and distribution. And with an annual growth rate of 1.53% per year, we don't want our crops just to grow, but we want them to be efficient and resilient to support our expansion. Urbanization is accelerating. As cities grow, our agricultural land shrinks, which pushes away our food production for those who need it the most. The urban population accumulated to 51%, while the rural accumulated to 49% in 2015. And by 2020, the urban dwellers increased to 54%, which tells us about our agriculture farming near city centers. So in contrast, 59 million Filipinos are living in urban environments. Feeding this massive population is a growing challenge till this day. Meanwhile, agriculture continues to suffer with only 18.4% of land being arable and the rest is classified as marginal. We face a real threat in long-term food security. In terms of land use, only 18.6% of land is arable, means it's easy to cultivate, while the other 81.4% of land is harder to cultivate. This massive gap really teaches us the urgency to adopt innovative farming technologies in traditional urban areas. Here we have the exports of the Philippines. There has been slight growth. It remains modest, indicating the limited scale of our agricultures in global terms. And here we have the exports. In first quarter of 2024, the imports are rising steeply. This imbalance shows our dependency from other countries when it comes to food and supply, which makes us vulnerable to supply chains food disruptions. And our government see these challenges and has outlined clear goals. And one of those goals is to protect purchasing power and to ensure the energy and security and to also lower our transport costs. Another is to ensure economic stability and to promote sound fiscal policies and financial reforms to help our agriculture. And lastly, to promote green jobs and sustainability, and to implement climate-friendly policies and sustainable cities, not to only help our agriculture, but to also help our environment and the economy.
Now, you might be asking the question, what does Demeter aim to cover? Well, Demeter aims to cover these 5 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, set by the United Nations. SDG 2, zero hunger. SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. 11, sustainable cities and communities. And lastly, SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. These SDGs were highlighted due to our school's vision to form students not only to become academically competent, but also morally responsive and environmentally upright. Now, what are the other goals of the meter? Well, it aims to help the United Nations reach its sustainable development goals and bring food security to urban areas. It also aims to help to support the growth of the agricultural sector of the Philippines whilst addressing one of its main problems, rapid urbanization. It also brings food security to harsh environments who are not able to cultivate their own food. So, enough dilly-dallying. What is the meter? The meter is an 11-story vertical farm system utilizing hydrophonic technology and a controlled atmospheric system. It also runs on green and sustainable energy sources, and it aims to feed 1,280 Filipinos per unit, with a monthly yield of 78 tons and a monthly upkeep of just around 33,000 United States dollars. This is a massive step towards sustainability and modernization.
Okay, now that we have gone through the introduction, let us talk about the 11-story vertical farm, the meter, a concept designed to address food security, support economical growth, and promote sustainable urban living, all while aligning with the demands of an industrial society. Now, first and foremost, in order to ensure that our project is both feasible and that it has structural integrity, we consulted with an architect and an engineer in order to make sure that our project is both realistic and efficient and is tailored specifically to the needs of this project. Now, let us focus on the basement levels, which are essential to the building's operation system. Now, the third basement is home to our cistern tanks. The cistern tanks are responsible for collecting and storing rainwater for use throughout the building's irrigation system. Second, the second basement is home to our boiler rooms. The boiler room is responsible for regulating the temperatures in the upper level, most specifically regulating the temperature for our aquaponics and hydroponic areas. Next, our first basement. The first basement serves as a storage. The storage is where the newly harvested produce are stored and also the necessary materials in order for the building to function properly. Moving up, we have the first floor. The first floor, you can see the lobby and the grocery level. Here, consumers can buy newly harvested fruits and vegetables that came directly from the farm itself, promoting local access to healthy produce while also reducing food miles. Next, we have the second floor. In this floor, consumers can relax and enjoy and buy foods which ingredients came directly from the farm itself, creating a direct farm-to-table experience for our dear consumers. Now, the third floor is home to our aquaponics and aquaculture system. In this setup, fishes are raised in tanks and their waste becomes a natural fertilizer for upper levels plants. Now the plants in turn filter and purify the water before it returns back to the fish, creating a closed-loop ecosystem for the entire building. Now, for our 4th to 9th floors, we plan to implement hydroponic farming. Hydroponic farming is where we use nutrient-rich water to grow our plants, resulting in higher yield, reducing water usage, and most specifically, it is very space efficient and it is very ideal for an urban vertical setting. The 10th floor is home to our aeroponics area. The aeroponics area is an advanced technique where the plant's roots are suspended in the air misted with nutrients. It is one of the most advanced techniques in terms of both water and space. Now, the 11th floor serves as the roof deck of our building. Here, we plan to implement solar panels and wind turbine to generate renewable energy for use throughout the entire building. We also plan to place rainwater collecting system, which connects back in the lower levels of the cistern tanks, creating a complete self-sustaining water cycle for the entire building. Now, this floor plan isn't just functional. It's a blueprint for sustainability. Every part of this building contributes to the multiple sustainable development goals that we aim to achieve.
Now, you might be asking the question, why the meter? Well, the meter is not just your run-of-the-mill school project, but it is a solution to contemporary issues not only in the Philippines, but all throughout the world. The meter aims to help in job security, creating green jobs for the people, and strengthen the agricultural sector, whilst addressing one of its main problems, rapid urbanization. It also aims to reduce the carbon footprint of the agricultural industry, making it more green and more sustainable. It also, finally, helps to support food security in harsh and urban areas who cannot cultivate their own food. Now, to end our presentation, we would like to quote the English poet and teacher, Lucy Larcom, who once said, "He who plants a tree plants a hope." Again, this has been Project Demeter, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you. So the next team is National Tainan First Senior High School, and the topic is enantiomer selectivity of radical alkylation using carrot ligand 9 catalyst.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Minnie, and I recently just graduated from Tainan First Senior High School. Okay, so today I would like to share my recent research about using computational chemistry approach to explain the initial selectivity of radical alkylation while using chiral ligand nickel catalyst. And also, I would like to discuss how we can design more efficient and greener catalysts in the future. This work is done under the guidance of Professor Mu-Jun Chen from National Cheng Kung University Chemistry Department, and in collaboration with Professor Liu Wei. Okay, so the goal of this study is to understand and explain the experimental results recently published by Professor Liu Wei on JACS 2024. Here. The researchers designed a quite strange chiral ligand like this 3 structure and achieved a really high initial selectivity in this reaction with larger than 99% EE value. And what does this mean? This means that more than 99% product is in the S form, which is this structure, and less than 1% is in the R form structure. Okay, so before I dive into my research, I want to explain why this reaction matters. Okay, so these 2 structures are enantiomers. Enantiomers are molecules that are mirror images of each other's. They have exactly the same physical and chemical properties, but they may have substantially different biological effects. So for example, the structure is thalidomide. It is a kind of drug that is used to treat morning sickness in the 1950s. The R form is safe, but the S form is teratogenic. If you didn't know this word, you can find it on Google Translator. But it means that the newborn babies may encounter a lot of problems. For example, they may have malformed limbs. But at that time, scientists didn't know the difference of these 2 compounds. But in the modern age, as a scientist or a chemist, if we can design a method that only forms the product that we want, it will be really beneficial. And the second thing here is that enantiomers are hard to separate because they have exactly the same physical and chemical properties, such as melting point and boiling point. So originally in organic synthesis, if chemists want to separate these two things, they need to use a lot of organic compounds and organic solvents. But this will lead to the second problem here, which is the environmental impact. Traditional organic solvents like toluene, hexane, or benzene are a major source of VOCs, which is volatile organic compound. VOCs may lead to greenhouse effects and may also contaminate air, water, or even soil quality. So this project resonates with SDGs Target 12.4, which is responsible management of chemicals and waste. Okay, so let's delve into the research part. This is a reaction mechanism proposed by Professor Liu Wei. And the first step is the decarboxylation, which forms the radical substrate. And then the radical substrate will combine with the nickel catalyst to form the intermediate. And then they will decompose into the S-form product and the nickel complex. Okay, so there are two main questions here. Why the S-form is the major product? Why not the R-form? And the second, what is the origin of this S-form selectivity? Okay, so let's make the reaction mechanism more clearly. In the left, this is the nickel complex, and the two nitrogen here represent the chiral ligand. And in the right is the radical substrate. So the first step is nickel and carbon coupling, and they form the intermediate. And then the second step is reductive elimination. And in this step, the CF2H originally on the nickel will move to the substrate and then form the S-form product. Okay, so there are two possible mechanisms. On the top is a trans mechanism. And this means that the substrate will get close to the nickel complex from an equatorial position. And the cis mechanism, which means that the radical substrate will get close to the nickel complex from an axial position. So I turned this mechanism into the potential energy diagram through Gaussian calculation. Okay, so in the middle here is the starting materials, the nickel complex and the radical substrate. To the left side is forming the R product, and to the right side is forming the S product. You can see the R product and the S product have the same energy because they have exactly the same chemical and physical properties. Okay, and this two is the first transition state, and these two are the intermediate, and these are the second transition state. Okay, so you can see there are two colors here. The black line represents the trans mechanism, and the gray line represents the cis mechanism. Okay, so according to this diagram, I have three main conclusions. The first one is that the step 2, which is a reductive elimination, is a rate-determining step, which means that this step is the slowest. And you can see, for example, on the left, the step 2 often have a higher reaction barrier. And the second conclusion here is that this reaction will prefer trans mechanism. So, for example, you see in the right side, the barrier of the trans mechanism is 19 kilocalories per mole, while the cis mechanism is 31.6. So obviously, this reaction will prefer the trans mechanism. And the third conclusion here is that this reaction will prefer the S product. Okay, let's make this diagram more clearly. Okay, we only consider the second transition state and the trans pathway. You can see the barrier of the trans mechanism to form the S product is 19, while the barrier of forming R product is 23.1. So this diagram helps explain Professor Liu Wei's experimental results. So I want to know why. So I do an IR analysis on the system. So IRI is a tool that can help us visualize the interaction between molecules. If it is red, it represents repulsion energy. If it is blue, it's attraction energy, such as H bond or halogen bond. So I do IR analysis on the second transition state. And I found that there are some steric hindrance between the methyl group on the substrate and the benzene on the chiral ligand. So you can see here some red region here. So the S-form selectivity comes from the steric hindrance. And the third part of research is crest analysis. Crest is a tool that can help me do conformational sampling. So the process is like this. I input my originally found transition state structure, and it will sample out like 100 or more conformers and rotamers. And among this structure, I found 2 transition states that is more stable than the originally found structure. So you can see originally the oxygen of the substrate will coordinate to the nickel. And the most stable structure that I found is when nitrogen coordinated to the nickel. And again, I want to know why. So I do the RI analysis again. And I found out that there are some pi-pi interaction between the substrate benzene and the chiral ligand benzene. So the pi-pi interaction will help stabilize this transition state. So I redraw the potential energy diagram. And I still get the same result. The reaction barrier of forming S product is smaller than the barrier of forming R product. Okay, so there are some conclusions. By the potential energy diagram, we can speculate that the S form is preferred due to the smaller reaction barrier. And the origin of this S form selectivity is the steric hindrance. By doing the crest conformational sampling, we can reveal the hidden transition states. And the most important thing here is that by this computational chemistry approach, we can design future organic catalysts. Thank you, everyone. And if you have any question, please feel free to connect with me after this session. Thank you.
All right, so the next section is from Malaysia, Chinese high school pot, and their topic is coexistence or destruction, exploring the phenomenon of rampant monkeys in Chinese high school pot, Malaysia, and solutions. Thank you. Let's welcome them.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Yong-An, and these are my teammates, Michelle and Yining. We are from Chinese High School Batu Pahat in Malaysia, and today we are excited to share our research on a rather unusual situation. Not in a jungle, but right in our school. Have you ever had your lunch stolen by a monkey? At Chinese High School Batu Pahat, this is a daily reality. Students often find themselves in constant conflict with monkeys over food, space, and safety, posing real threats to both personal safety and environmental hygiene. Our title today is Coexistence or Destruction. This title reflects the choice we face. Can we truly coexist with the monkeys, or are we heading towards destruction? So why did we choose this topic? Because it is not just theory, it is our everyday life. Imagine being in class when suddenly a monkey snatches someone's lunch. Chaos breaks out, students scream and teachers rush to the windows. It is not a wildlife documentary, nor a movie. It's actually real and it always happens. Our country, Malaysia, is home to some of the world's oldest rainforests, rich with unique plants and animals' life. With a warm and rainy climate, our environment naturally supports diverse wildlife. This is a picture of our school. Here is our classroom, and beside classroom there is Mount Fulong. As we see this Google Map photo, we can know that our school is surrounded by greenery and located near Mount Fulong. So it's become a perfect spot for animals, especially monkeys. However, since movement control order, the monkey population has grown and become more aggressive. They no longer stay in the trees. They steal food, invade classrooms, and sometimes even threaten students and teachers. Why is this happening? The root causes are urbanization and deforestation. As forests shrink, monkeys lost their natural home and are pushed into human spaces. These encounters may seem small, but they disrupt learning, endanger safety, and increase stress. Clearly, something needs to be done. So what is the solution? Not violence, but coexistence. Instead of driving away the monkeys harshly, we should aim for peaceful strategies. Through awareness, prevention, and responsible behavior, we can reduce conflict and protect both people and wildlife. These are all the goals from United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. Within this, our research aligns with Goal number 15, Life on Land, which emphasizes restoring ecosystem and promoting harmony between humans and nature. After all, true coexistence isn't about control. It is about respect, balance, and understanding. So how do we carry out our research? Let's hear to Michelle.
Thank you, Yong-An. Now let me share about our process. To explore this topic, 3 methods we did are reviewing literature, interviewing, and sending questionnaire. For literature, we did a lot of research from articles in archives and websites to know the habits of different types of monkeys around the world and problems caused by their rampant behavior. We also studied a book, Batu Pahat Wildlife Encounters, which focus on monkeys inhabiting Mount Fulong in Malaysia to understand the monkey behaviors in the school's environment. Our research are in accordance to SDGs on creating sustainable communities and conserving biodiversity. The second method is to interview key school figures for broader insights into the current measures and challenges. They are our principal, Mr. Su, head of general office, Mr. Sun, and a teacher, Mr. Te. These are the photos we have taken during the interview survey. This is Mr. Sun, head of Chinese High School Batu Pahat, our principal. This is Mr. Sun, and this is Mr. Te. They are very helpful and contributed a lot of information to our research. Lastly, we also sent a questionnaire to students. The questionnaire is entitled Rampant Monkey Phenomenon on Campus. We have collected 1,765 responses from the questionnaire. From the pie chart, we can see that about 50% of the students have been witnesses of monkey attacks, and there are more than 10% have been attacked, including the victims and both who have been witnesses and victims in different occasions. The collected data, interviews, and research findings provided the recommendations to address the monkey issues while promoting biodiversity conservation. Now, how do we solve this problem? Let's hear from Yining.
Thank you, Michelle. Next, let me share about the solution in our paper. The problem of rampant monkeys has always existed in our school. So, how did we solve it before? According to the interview data, our school trimmed the tree regularly to prevent the monkeys from running on the tree. They also contact the forestry department to capture the monkeys by using monkey traps and release them into the forest. Besides, we also had a huge tiger-shaped plush toy to frighten the monkeys. Reducing the number of garbage bins is also one of our ways to reduce the monkeys' food source so that they will not return to our campus. These were used by the school before, but they were not so effective. So we suggested some ways to enhance our solution. First, we suggested that the school can cooperate with Robotics Society to design an autonomous mobile intelligent robot by using 3D printing technology. It can imitate the sound of wild animals to frighten the monkeys and enhance the function of the huge tiger-shaped plush toy. Second, we also suggested that the school can use holographic projection around the school. When a monkey approaches, the tiger hunting scenes will be played suddenly, frightening the monkeys away from the school. In addition, using covered garbage bin with lock with password is also one of the ways we suggested. It can prevent the monkeys from rummaging the bin and affecting the cleanliness of the campus. Lastly, public awareness is also important. In the questionnaire we received, 355 students say that they were annoyed or even disgusted with the monkeys. These results show that the school needs to further strengthen the public awareness and help everyone to understand the importance of non-aggression, peaceful coexistence. The school also can teach students and the staff not to throw rubbish anywhere and not to feed the monkeys. We hope to minimize the problem of rampant monkeys by using this method. Finally, let us get back to our topic, coexistence or destruction. I believe everyone knows our conclusion after listening to our sharing. Of course, we choose to coexist with the monkeys. This picture is synthesized by AI technology. It is because the coexistence between humans and monkeys has not yet become a reality. It is just our imagination and our hope. We want to make a deal with monkeys that is non-aggression, peaceful coexistence. We hope to live with nature, coexist in harmony. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Because we got some technical issues, technical problem with the screen. So let's take just a 3 to 5 minutes of a break. Wait for our technician to do something with the screen. Wait for a moment. Sorry, Dr. Wang Haowen, sorry for that. hopefully the big screen will go well. So let's finish our last report. It's from affiliated Taoyuan Agricultural and Industrial Senior High School of National Taipei University of Technology. The topic is exploratory research study on the reconstruction of TYAI campus, boundary walls, and the city greenway. Let's welcome them.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of our presentation today is the study report on the reconstruction of TYAI campus boundary walls and city greenway. I'm Xu Binghong.
I'm Zhang Zhongyan.
I'm Chen Shiting.
I'm Hong Yuqian.
I'm Kang Ziqi.
Before starting our reports, I'll introduce the exploration process first. First, we establish the theme and background, then clarify problems and objectives, research methods and design, quantitative data collection, qualitative action practice, data analysis and finding, action practice and outcomes. Finally, we do reflection and future recommendation. In 2024, the Taoyuan city, where the airport is, government began a project to create space for bikes and pedestrians, which will move our school wall back by 3 meters. But our students are worried because they need to cut down some trees, which provides the homes for animals and helps protect nature. We think this big decision like this should not be only made by the school. Students should join these discussions. We can give ideas, vote, or talk with teachers to have better ways to protect the environment. Next, let's welcome Zhang Zhongyan.
Creating a democratic school environment involves including students, teachers, and community in decision-making. This reflects the goal of the SDGs-4, which promotes active participation and responsible citizenship in education. At the same time, protecting campus biodiversity supports healthy ecosystem, which is the main concern of the SDGs 15. Finally, the SDGs 17 shows the highlights. Finally, the SDGs 17 highlights the importance of partnership at all levels, including students, teachers, and communities. First, we start from field investigation and questionnaire development, and created an easy-to-understand guide for questionnaire, and conducted surveys and interviews. To check public opinions, we split it into 3 groups: students, teachers, and community residents to do the survey. And now first, here are the results from the student group. This time, our interview focused on the first-year student, and about 100 students accepted our survey. From these 2 charts, we can see that most of the respondents cannot accept the traffic congestion from the construction lasting more than 6 months. And more than half are concerned the construction noise will impact their learnings. From these 3 pictures, we can see that about 60% of the students against this project. From these 2 charts, we can see that students concern the construction noise and the traffic safety. And we hope the government can provide clear solutions to provide this. And we hope the government can provide clear solutions for these problems. Based on the above images, let's talk about a summary of the students' opinion. About 2/3 of the students expressed opposition to this project. The main concerns of the students are: first, construction noise affecting learning, and second, traffic safety and congestion during class time. And now let's welcome Chen Shiting.
Now I'm going to introduce the teachers' opinions. We went and interviewed principals and teachers from all the sections. 14 in total. And teachers believe that it will bring some positive impact like the sidewalk widening, and besides it can help improve the pedestrian safety and the traffic congestion. In addition, it will bring some integration of cultural and tourist resources, can help improve the school appearance. There are also some concerns about the campus split. The new wall design may cause some space reduction of campus, and the traffic will relate the noise and some problems. And also, like the security concerns with new wall design is a very important question. There are also some suggestions here, like the campus beautification and the safety enhancement should all be decided. And a portion of the funding allocated is decided to be on the facility upgrades and the renovation of all buildings. Also, the transportation is also important. Overall, interviewees has mixed view on project. Some recognize its long-term benefits for the city's environment and traffic, but raise concern about its potential negative impact on schools and execution details. They emphasize better coordination, fair resource allocation, and measures to protect campus safety and culture. And let's welcome Hong Yuqian.
Community return support. Community return opinions. Basic information. A total of 10 people accepted our interview, aged from 15 to 65 years old. The half of the people in the city environment, and many people worry about safety problems. Most people think the city government should do the maintenance, and they also want the better lights and better. In this interview, 90% of respondents support the plan. Only 10% are against it. Other opinions. 1. The Japanese-style building at school should be fixed or rebuilt soon to show the old Japanese style again and match the building at the Hutoshan mountain shrine. The walkways are already wide, so there is no need to make them 3 meters wider. It doesn't help much. Summary or community resident support. Opinions. About 90% residents support the plan. Many believe that the Taiwan city government should take care of the green path, and most think the better lighting at night is very important. That's what Kang Zhiqi.
We can take reference from different places to improve our urban cycle, and at Hsinchu Elementary School, they create a friendly environment for all trees. And National Cheng Kung University also removed the wall and used technology to keep the campus safe. What's more, the Stanford University, which is in the USA, they used greenery design to replace the wall. At Singapore, their green strip between the road and the walkway reduce car noise and provide enough space for trees to grow well. This example gives us many useful ideas for making the nature and campus better for us. After we do the research, we presented the results to the Taiwan City Government Public Work Bureau officials, and they gave us a lot of positive feedback, including add noising and green barriers, and involve teacher and student in planning, adopting the school wall suggestion, and hire professional for beautification. They also promised they will preserve the historical building, and the construction will occur during the breaks to minimize disruption. Final is our reflection and recommendation. Through engage with diverse perspectives, we were able to rethink our initial opposing view and develop a more comprehensive plan. However, time management issues create pressure, highlighting the need for better planning to ensure the progress and efficiency. Anticipating future challenges and working hard for qualities are crucial. Also, getting help from different people is important to make the plan more fair and protect nature better. That's all our presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Because we got some students outside the hall, so let's just wait a minute and open the door, let them come in and join us for the last around 20 minutes of a session. Everyone, would you please take a seat? Everyone, would you please take a seat? So everyone, please just take a seat. Just take a seat. Take any seat available. Just take a seat available. Is that okay? All right, so thank you all for your presentation for the afternoon session. We believe that you are now eager to get some constructive feedback to improve your research. So please join me in welcoming today's commentator, Dr. Wang Haowen from Cheng Kung University. Let's give him a very big applause.
Hi, everyone. Uh, so, congratulations. I think all of you already finished your tough time, right? And also now it's getting a little bit released. It's not so stressful. And the last session I also enjoy a lot, particularly because you know I'm the biologist. Two groups are discussing the monkeys issues. So one is from south of Taiwan in Kaohsiung. The other, I guess, is from Malaysia, right? And the relationship between animals, or we call that wildlife, between wildlife and humans, actually is a very tight correlate. And now, so we always think we are the master. Humans, we are the masters. You know, we control everything. But don't forget, we still be just the one factor or one group, one animals in the whole ecosystems. So that's why it's very nice of you are really considering, I think even include the last talk, even just discuss, rebuild the wall in your schools. So what the type you should choose? Because I'm from Cheng Kung University just next here, probably you will go there tomorrow. Tomorrow you can probably pay a little bit attention about the wall issues in our campus. Because when I was a student, because I'm also graduated from Cheng Kung University, and it was since 35 years ago. And in that time moment, so we have the very similar the campus outlook compared with all the most of the university in the world. We have the typical walls surround each campus. But after that, the new generation architectures, also the new generation about our university site, we will start to discuss, so what we should a little bit change, because the wall, yeah, sure, is very high and it's very secure, and also some wall you can paint on that, it looks very nice. But in parallel, because our Cheng Kung University, we have only here we have 9 different campuses already. Means each campus is not so pretty large. Every campus are very close each other, also very close to the society. So if you have the very high walls, the high walls, it's like a barrier. You know, you just cut down the relationship between the university and the society. So that's why I think it's 25 years ago, and our university started a long-term project to have because I'm also now the member in these committees. So we are discussing, so what we should do in next 5 years, next 10 years, next 20 years. We have long-term project. So that's why we are not one day to change from the high wall to the low wall, or some parts no wall. We are slowly progressing to change. So that's why I think I really appreciate the students in the Taoyuan. I think the Taoyuan, right? So where are you? Where are you? Yeah, great. So I think it's very good, and university, and also together with your students to have the long-term discuss these issues. And in the final, I think now you are releasing, now you have no stress, then stress pass to us side, because I have to discuss with other judge to have to try to, you know, it's the really hard time to judge, so who should get the award and who should, yeah, probably all of you are very good. So, and I think you also can learn, the most important in this issue, you can learn a lot from other groups, from other countries and from other schools. So again, thank you very much, and I will give the time pass to you, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so it's time for another tea break. So a lot of desserts and a lot of beverages are ready outside the venue. So please remember that no food or drink is allowed inside the venue. So the conference will resume at 5:10. Let me rephrase it, 5:10. But before, yeah. So before that, let me remind you one more thing. Before you enjoy your refreshments, please find the photographers to take a group photo at the square outside the venue. Okay, let me rephrase that. Please find the photographers to take a group photo at the square outside the venue. Our staff will lead you to the photo spot. Our staff over there will lead you to the photo spot, and then you can enjoy your refreshments. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so we'd like to invite all the schools from foreign countries in Vietnam, from the Philippines, from Japan, from Thailand. Would you please come forward and take a group photo together? Schools from Thailand, Vietnam, and Vietnam and Malaysia. Yeah. Would you please come forward and take a group photo together?
这个 OK， 就这样就好。这个这一就可以了，就可以了。哎，等一下，没有。
Students and teachers from international schools, please pay attention. We're about to take a group photo of international school students. Please head for the photo spot at the square outside this venue. Thank you. Students and teachers from international schools, including students and teachers from Japan, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Hong Kong, the Philippines. We would like to invite you to take a group photo. Please join us. So please head to the photo spot at the square outside this venue. So students from international schools, please join us for a group photo at the photo spot outside this venue now. Thank you.